Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Married to Sports podcast. With me, as always, I've got the diabolical one, Rodney and Corey. How we doing this morning, guys?
Doing good.
Okay,
Got a heat wave here in
it's been
Oklahoma.
a rough morning.
Temperature is supposed to rise 40 degrees. Sounds crazy. Going from 30 to 70.
Sure you don't live in Illinois?
Yeah. Yeah, that's too cold for me. Oklahoma's too cold. I got to move south.
Oh, you're
Kinda,
giving,
aren't you,
Huh?
South?
now you're giving us your heat wave later, Brandon.
I
Later this
said,
week, we're
kinda,
back in
aren't
the
you
70s.
already a little south? I mean, you're right near Texas. Come
No,
on.
that's where I'd like to go. Houston? No, not Houston. Have y'all ever been to Houston?
I have relatives
I've
down
been
there.
through Houston.
So we went to Houston for a football game. A lot of y'all know I coach women's professional football. We play the Houston Energy, and we went down there home stadium, and they had a really nice. They were really nice. Houston was a great place to go play. They were really hospitable. Great staff down there, but it took from the time we hit Houston to get to the midway through Houston, it took an hour and a half. And I was
Yeah.
like, what in the world? Like, I thought Dallas and Fort Worth was bad, Arlington, all that. No, that ain't got nothing on Houston. Houston, bad.
It was 8 lanes. It was 8 lanes of
And it
traffic
was
both
all
ways, was
stopped,
it not?
all 8 lanes of it. I could have ran.
Yep.
I could
I
have ran faster
remember.
than we were driving. We were going 5 miles an hour.
I remember when my grandmother died years ago. My dad was working in Texas for a project he was on. We went down there with him after my grandmother died. We drove from South Carolina to Corpus Christi, Texas, 24 hours, and I had a 45-pound cast on my leg. I had to have reconstructive
Ooh.
ankle surgery. And I tell you what, and y'all remember the old Geo
Huh?
prisons? The old Geo
Oh, yeah, yeah,
prison.
yeah. Got like 50 miles per gallon.
That's what I had to ride in, cramped up in a 45-pound cast going 24 hours.
I have a question to ask. How did your head fit in that?
Oh, Corey.
It was
I
just a
can
quick.
never reveal my secrets.
I just wonder how you got in it.
I can never reveal my secrets. Y'all, my camera just went out. I'm dealing with it today. I apologize. But
It's a good picture of you, Rod.
Everybody screenshot that now.
Yep. Read screenshots.
anyway, so to answer your question, yeah, going through Houston, my mom was freaking out with my dad driving just because she's always a freaker about following too close and all. And Brandon, you're right. It was some of the craziest traffic you ever
Yeah.
see.
My dad's from Corpus. He went to Cal Allen. Corpus is nice. I don't like the I don't like the golf. The golf is really great, but it was cool.
I do too. I do like the golf.
The so last night we're watching the Green Bay game, and it was a great defensive battle, except for the one defensive guy that I thought needed to be a part of the game was non-existent. And Rodney, your face is frozen on my screen, and that is a great place for you to be stuck at. Uh,
Yep.
that's going to be our picture for the podcast from here on out.
God help me. No, it's not. Because I think Corey just, if it looks like what Corey just sent me, God help me.
Are the Green Bay Packers defensively? What is the GM thinking up there in Green Bay? Are they regretting Micah Parsons?
Uh, I want to put them as a whole real quick. I know you're wanting to get in strictly down to one single player, but it takes 11 men on that side of the ball. My question to you guys is: Green Bay pretenders or contenders?
I think after last night, they're pretenders. And yes, it was a great defensive battle, but the bigger question on this is a pretender question. It's Jordan Love. I mean, you know what? Ultimately, he's been in the league at least 4 or 5 years. Is he showing that he is going to stay where he's at? I mean, we get great numbers from him some games, but there are times that it just really is awful to watch. Like he can hit the broadside of a barn even if they make the best routes.
So
Derek agreed with you on that.
I'm with you on the pretender part. But what does that say about the entire North if Green Bay is a pretender?
That Detroit's as real as they are. I mean, let's be real.
No,
I mean,
you have the Bears in first place. That is a pretender division.
I agree, but I'm saying coming out of the division, the Lions are going to come out that division. Let's be real.
Okay,
Well-
let's be real.
Do y'all disagree?
I do. I'd like for you to defend your point so I can beat that point to death.
You know, Jared Goff is that stable quarterback. I'm not saying elite or not, but he's the one that he can go on a streak and get every and be on fire. I mean, you got one of the best running backs in the league in Jamar Gibbs. You got solid defense that plays together. I mean, am I wrong on
And what
everything
happened
I'm
when
saying
Jared
there,
Goff and the
y'all?
Lions met the Green Bay Packers?
One game.
What happened?
They
Got
got blown
mollywopped.
out.
Got mollywopped.
But that was the first game of the season. When do they play them again?
Thanksgiving.
And that's at home. That was at Green Bay when they got
They were at Green Bay when they got
mollywopped, to
mollywopped.
use your term.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's going to be feast or famine. This is going to be the game that tells us about the division.
You beat up on a bad Bears team. I think the Bears are bad. I think that their record is an anomaly. I think that I would like to see Caleb Williams do it 2 years in a row. I'm not buying in to Caleb Williams and the Bears this year. I'm not. They win games they shouldn't. They lose games they shouldn't. They're not something I'm willing to put my house on. But you look at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs mollywopped them. You look at the Vikings beat them. The Vikings are a very bad team with JJ, without JJ. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a very bad team that's trying to find their way. I don't know how you can say the Lions are contenders when they're all beating up on each other, and they're not winning the big games. Your Lions have beaten a Bucs team, which is good, a Commanders team, which is not. They lost to the Vikings, which is not a good team. They lost to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are a good team, but whatever. Now, you did beat the Bengals. You did beat the Browns. You beat a bad Ravens team. And you beat a bad Bears team. How much of a contender are they really? How much is a contender in the North, period? I don't think there's a contender in the North.
I don't.
AFC or NFC. There's not a contender in the
All
North.
right. We can agree on that, but I'm just holding to the point that the Lions are the main team that should get out of the
Yeah. I mean, I'm
the
not.
North.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. You know, the Lions. Here's the thing about the Lions: when they're on, they look freaking phenomenal. When when both sides are playing the ball. The Packers have been very inconsistent and kind of been showing the same thing when they lose. They lost to the Browns. They tied the Cowboys. They lost last night, 10-7, which, field goal kicker missed a kick or two. But the Lions, when they play well, they look better than the other teams when they play well.
But the downside when they
I think they look better than the Bears. Well, that's just it. But I think, though, as we get through the end of this season, towards the end, I think Campbell's going to have them ready.
So
he's a motivator. I still think the Lions are the contender in that division.
now,
And to that point Dio's making, you gotta realize Detroit had lost 2 coordinators, like you kept saying, Brandon. They've turned that around and had some more consistency than any team in that division.
the problem that I have with any team in the North, including the Lions, is you have a really high ceiling with a really low floor, which is going to put your average below average because of how low that floor is. We have seen Jordan Love look like he's never even taken a snap in high school, let alone in the pros. We've seen Jared Goff have really good games, 71% completion, 320 yards, and then he throws for 80 yards and looks like he's never played a game. So the inconsistency factor here, when you average it out, puts you below average. You're not the Rams. You're not the Seahawks. You're not the Bucks. I can't even gauge on whether or not the Eagles filled their holes because of how bad the offense was last night. The Eagles did a great job on D, but the offense was bad on Green Bay. Now, the reverse can be said about the Philadelphia Eagles. The offense played bad. The Green Bay Packers played defensively lights out. Like, they did everything in their power to keep Jordan Love in that game. And Brandon McManus, I think he got tipped, but he booted. And that you shouldn't even had a second attempt at that. The ball doesn't lie, which is why it ended the way it ended. They should not have gotten a second attempt at that. That should have been a delay of game and had it been 5 yards further. Like, even the Eagles are like, we didn't call timeout.
Let me ask you this. You brought up Jordan Love. Is it really time for the Green Bay Packers to move on from him? Because you need to be more consistent in all phases of play.
Okay, let's go back to this. His number one weapon, he lost 2 weeks ago. Dobbs was not getting hardly any catches last night. I saw a lot of drop passes. I mean, tell me one elite receiver on the Packers right now.
No, he already went down. The elite receiver already went down, and that was Jaden Reed.
Okay.
That's a fair point.
And
Kraft
that was your number 2 guy who stepped into the number 1 role who got hurt. So yeah, you're right. You're on your 3, your 4s, and your 5s. I'm with you. I 100% agree.
So I'm not. Look, Jordan Love. I think he's still there as far as being a starter. They just don't have the weapons around him. I mean, he's owned to 2, 3s, and 4s. There's probably a practice squad guy out there last night suited up. I mean, that's where they're at.
Well, Josh Jacobs led him in number of receptions. He had 5 for 33 yards. Nobody else, his wide receiver was Wicks, who had 4 receptions. I mean, that just shows
when Wicks was running good routes, he looked really good last
Wicks
night.
is a good number 3. He's a good 3.
We said that all season when we watch games together. Wicks should be getting more touches.
When I saw this going into this season, my thought was it was going to be Reed at the 1, Watson at the 2, Wicks at the 3. And Matthew Golden, being a rookie, would have an opportunity at the 4. I'm not seeing that. But I will say that.
Well, here's something else.
Go ahead.
Just real quick, here's one thing else to say about that. On your point, Brandon, Bo Melton had 2 catches last night. They threw to him 5 times. Bo Melton is the one that they keep switching between defensive back and wide receiver, and he had the second most pass attempts to him. I mean, that's what Jordan Love's throwing to right now. That's what it's come down to.
Yeah.
Continue, Brandon. I apologize. I just wanted to get that out there.
I was going to say this, though. I thought Jordan Love did a great job in the pocket yesterday. In fact, out of the last few weeks, I think Jordan Love has actually been the best in the pocket. Last night I saw a play where the coverage was locked downfield. The Eagles did a great job blocking it. That entire pocket collapsed around him, and there was one small opening. And I mean, like, every single one of these guards were touching Jordan Love, and he got out of it. And he is the last one out of the quarterbacks I've been watching to escape the pocket. He literally waits till the very last second to escape the pocket, and that is some great awareness. And I do want to give him recognition and credit for what he does do, and that was great. He did a great job in the pocket yesterday.
You know, the one if we're bashing quarterbacks, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I know Jalen Hurts threw a touchdown. He's got 16 touchdowns to 1 interception. But if you watch his passes last night, just coming out of his hand, just a lot of them did not look good at all.
But all right, here's the point. How much of that is the weather last night?
I brought that up. But here's a statement Corey just made. You know, when he said we're bashing quarterbacks right now. You're the one that brought up Jordan Love. You brought up the quarterback conversation.
I know.
I know. Going, we.
I know.
Wait a minute. Are you French? We.
Yeah, we.
No, I wasn't bashing the quarterback. I was asking the legitimate question because it seems like when Green Bay is a contender, just like we bashed not Jordan Love, Jared Goff about not getting over that hump. Green Bay hadn't gotten
Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl.
That's why
Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl.
You're right, but I'm saying with Detroit is what I'm saying.
Right.
With his team.
But back to Jordan Love. You know, the Packers haven't been the Packers in a while. So, I mean, he's shown some strides as the quarterback of that team when they didn't even have a good defense, which I wouldn't call them a great defense now just because they added Parsons, but I don't think they're getting absolutely everything they expected out of Parsons. Now, is he a disruptor? Yes, he is disrupting certain plays. He may not get the sack, he may not get the tackle, but he is forcing the line or the offensive players to change their scheme, whichever side he lines up on. But Jordan Love as a quarterback, look, he's not in the top 10, but he's definitely a starter in the NFL, and he really doesn't have any good receivers. They haven't had good receivers there in a while.
I think Jordan Love has the potential to be great. Jordan Love,
absolutely.
And I think we said this on the live last night. Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts remind me of that itch in the middle of your back that no matter how hard you scratch it, you can be up against a doorpost, you can have somebody else scratch it.
Yep.
You just can't get any relief. And that's how I feel about Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love. Like, they both, when I turn the film on, it leaves me like, man, there is another level to you, and you need to find it.
I'll agree with that.
And it's like when they do find it, they find it for a game, and then the next game, it's gone again.
That's the only reason I asked about Jordan Love, because you know what? Last few games, he had at least 250 yards. And one game, I think he was over, like that Steelers game, he was over 300 and some yards.
He's athletic as hell. I think Jordan Love is athletic as hell, but consistent.
But most of his games when he had it like that, Rob,
Yeah,
he had Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft went down, and last night none of the receivers stepped up for him either.
that's
Matthew
true.
Golden has been a little
All right.
disappointing, if I'm being real. I mean, he's a Texas boy, and I had a lot of high hopes coming out of him because, dude, if it was not for Matthew Golden, yours would not have looked as good as he did last year. That's just being real.
Before I met all y'all, I used to go in this live on TikTok and listen to him because he's a good football guy. And we ended up watching the draft together in April, and we were all high on Matthew Golden. Like, he's going to be the number one. He's going to be that guy for
Yeah.
Jordan Love. It hadn't worked out that way. I mean, I don't know if it's the mental game, the speed of the game, or
Well,
you're there and you don't want. I'm.
yeah, Matthew Golden though this year, because I had him on my fantasy to start off the year. Matthew Golden has been nicked up all year. He has not been
That's true.
healthy at all yet this year, and that could be a lot of the reasoning. Because if you're nicked up, he's not practicing a lot. Him and Love aren't going to get that connection. So, you know, he has been disappointed in his rookie year. I want to see what he's like next year before I say anything bad about Matthew Golden, just because I know he's been nicked up this year. But those other receivers, Christian Watson couldn't stay healthy, but Wicks and Dobbs, them and Love have played together for multiple years now. You would think their chemistry would be there.
Dobbs was originally supposed to be the number one anyway.
Yeah,
He can't stay healthy, concussions.
yeah.
He wears the Guardian cap on his head. I thought last night that would help Jordan Love. We saw another kid with a Guardian cap on his head. He got in the game a little bit. Uh, yeah, the Green Bay's been very disappointing, and I thought they had the fewest questions going into this season. And then the Michael Parsons thing
Here,
was
here's
like,
some,
man,
here's
y'all just solidified that defense.
I really thought they had more questions than you gave them credit for, because ultimately the receiving core has not been there for a few years. I mean,
What do you mean?
Golden could not always be a savior. I mean, not all receivers come in and save a
Romeo
franchise.
Dobbs is a veteran in this group. I think he's at the end of his
mm-hmm.
rookie contract. I think he's on year 4 of his 5-year contract. Okay. Jaden Reed has also been there the same amount of time. Dontavian Wicks has also been there the same amount of time. Christian Watson is actually a vet. So what do you mean? They've been playing with Jordan Love since Jordan Love's been a starter.
Yep.
I agree, but I mean, I'm saying the level of consistency they've had over those same years.
Well, here's my question, Rod. Here, do this. Do this for me. Take Jordan Love out of Green Bay and put him in Philadelphia with the receivers he has. Is he better or is he the same?
He would be better in my mind. Take it. All right, I got one for you. Take him and put him on the Cincinnati Bengals with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Is he better?
I mean, maybe if the O
Yeah,
line can
that's
keep
what
him
I'm just
up.
saying.
I mean, you went from a team that has one of the best O lines in the game to a team that doesn't have an O line.
But I'm saying the level of receivers is the point I
But
bring
you have to
up.
also put into that the level of receivers, but you also have to put the level of, the pocket. He got sacked.
That's
He got sacked
that's
three
true.
times. He got
Cincinnati
sacked
might.
three
What are
times
we
last
talking about?
night.
These are all
All
NFL
right.
receivers. These guys should be working just as
Yeah.
hard as Jamar Chase, if not harder.
Yep.
All right. Here's one for you. This is a in division one. Take Jordan Love and put him on the Minnesota Vikings.
Vikings are better. What do you mean? You can put them on the Panthers, and the Panthers are better.
Yeah, his receiving core is just not
Put
consistent.
them on the Saints, they might
Period.
actually be
And
winning
they
That's the
should
games.
be.
point.
Yeah, they should be. They should be because the thing is we've always talked about quarterbacks coming into the league and you put them in horrible situations where they have no receivers, no running backs. You know The sad part is Jordan Love does have a decent line. He has receivers that have been with him for years, and he also has a running back that is a very good running back.
We keep pointing at Jordan Love and the receivers, but when are y'all gonna start putting blame on Matt LaFleur?
Yeah, that could be, it could be the play calling too. Exactly.
All right.
Something's
so,
not clicking there, and it
I've
should
been out
be.
on Matt LaFleur for the last 2 years. I understand you beat my Cowboys in the playoffs. Who doesn't?
You have for sure on that one.
So it's this. All right. Sean McDermott, John Harbaugh, Matt LaFleur. Who gets fired first?
Out of that one?
Yeah.
I'd say LaFleur.
Yeah, because when they brought Micah Parsons in their minds, that was the missing piece to make a big playoff run. I'm not saying win the Super Bowl, but go to a big playoff run. If that doesn't happen, you better watch out.
So I had this thought yesterday because I don't think Matt LaFleur's on the hot seat. I think he should have been. I don't think he is.
I don't think he is.
But after last night, is the seat warm?
Yeah.
That's the point I was making with that question.
And again, I go back to that. If they don't just say they make the playoffs and they're 1 and out, that's not why they went and got Micah Parsons, is for a 1 and out. They could have saved the money. I know they paid him a lot of money, and one player's not going to do it. But they thought they were one person away from making a deep playoff run.
Man, the Packers defense played great last night. They held the Eagles to 10 points.
Yeah. Yep. A.J. Brown to 2 catches.
I mean, that's legit. But the offense has got to play better.
It is.
The offense has got to play better. Jordan Love's got to put the ball where it needs to go. Dobbs has got to make catches. Matt LaFleur's got to put his guys in better situations for better football.
And here's the thing. What is LaFleur? He's an offensive coach. Yeah. His offense is coming up short. His defense isn't. His offense is.
That right there is the question of why I said about Jordan Love and LaFleur, because it doesn't seem like it's working. Some games, it's like a 100-point basketball game. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. But then the other side to the coin is when it's bad. Even if you're in the game, it's really bad.
But here's the thing too, Rodney. We've all said this, not just in pro football, but college this year. We've just seen a lot of bad games, a lot of bad play calling, offensively and defensively.
Agreed.
I'm ready. This year,
I'm ready for golf.
This year has just been, as a football fan, has been a little unsatisfying. Not disappointing, but unsatisfying. It hasn't satisfied me.
That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah.
It's so bad for me. I'm ready for the off.
That's only because your teams are bad.
I'm not going that far.
Only because your teams are bad.
That's not going that far. I'm talking as a whole, looking at.
I know. But the level of play, no matter if my team's in the game or not, has not lived up to the type of, like I said on the podcast before, where I'm on my knees. Oh my God, I can't believe what I've seen.
We've had a couple of those games. We've had a lot of those games. It just seems like this year, the prime time games that they put on for everybody to see, like the Sunday night, the Thursday night, and the Monday night games, has just left me unsatisfied, except for, what was it, the Bills and Ravens that first week?
Yeah.
That was an exciting game to me. But it just seems like lately those games have been, cry me out loud, the 8:30 game Sunday was probably one of the more exciting games.
Yeah, but that shouldn't have been that exciting.
I know, but I'm just saying it was, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is, and I can't say it's against the league because, I know that they think they're putting the best matchups up there for prime time and stuff, but it just hasn't lived up to my expectations for the primetime games.
All right, one more thing before we move off football. Yesterday when we ended the recording, Brian Daboll had gotten fired. Who else was blindsided by that?
Should have happened last
Huh?
Should have happened last year.
I agree.
It really should have.
But actually, I didn't agree. I didn't agree at the beginning of the season. Going into the season, I said that the GM should be fired and that he cut Brian Dayball's throat, and that is what's going to cause Dayball to lose his job. The GM actually did do that, but then as the season went on, I realized how bad of a coach Brian Dayball was, and I'm really sad that I ever tried to defend him because that was completely. I should have never tried to defend him.
We do that a lot, though, Brandon. We'll defend people that we try to give them a chance. It's just like in life.
Well, I mean, I watched what he did. I've seen what he's done. I think that there's potential there. Maybe he's just an OC. Maybe I just saw a really good OC and I just wanted more out of a head coach. I don't know. But I also didn't like what the GM did to him. That was dumb. Why would you pay Danny Dimes to get rid of Saquon? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, but what shocked me about the firing was you did it mid-season. Like, if you were already out on the guy, why didn't you do it going into the season? Why didn't you just bring another coach up or get rid of him and have an intern?
Well, you don't know. You don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know what else is going on there because they could have just been having a conversation with him after that game the other night, and he was just complete tool about it, and they were kind of like, you know what? We're done. This can't be salvaged. I mean, there's no telling how that conversation went. It may not have started out as a conversation to let him go, but it may have been a conversation for him to make some changes. And if he was unwilling to do those changes, then you have to sit there and say, okay, we were probably going to look at this at the end of the season, but now here we are in the middle of the season, and we're just going to go ahead and part ways and be done. End it.
That's the one thing with the coaches.
Well, I mean, I've heard Gruden's name mentioned for New York. I mean, Mike McCarthy, how would he look in New York?
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, now you can start. But see, with Dayball gone, because I'm sure they were already looking at that situation at the end of the season. But now that Mike McCarthy's floating around, you still got John Gruden down there. I mean, you've got potential coaches you can start interviewing because they're not tied to anything. McCarthy's just sitting at home.
Could you imagine?
Give him a call, interview.
Could you imagine Jackson Dart with Mike McCarthy?
That's
that would be
and that's the thing. Here's the thing is I know Dayball's the offensive coordinator also, or he calls the plays or did. That conversation that conversation could have went, hey, we just lost our best prospect, Jackson Dart, to a concussion because the play calling, he's having to get out and run. And I don't know if Dayball was the best for Jackson Dart. So, and that's their quarterback of the future. So,
I mean, they found their quarterback of the future. That's no doubt.
They got to protect him though, because he's not going to last.
Yeah.
Apparently, they let a quarterback of the future go.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, guys, I got some breaking news. Nico Harrison from the Mavericks has been fired.
I told Brandon that before we came on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we ever.
That was one of the first headlines this morning. Was ESPN had announced they were planning on firing him today.
Yeah.
So
I apologize.
You're good. You're good.
Here's look, we bled over in the NBA already. My question about that is, man, we haven't even been 3 weeks into the season.
No, but the reason Harrison got fired is this
you
isn't
traded
from this year.
Luka Doncic, and he's making the Lakers relevant.
That's what I was.
Yeah, and your team is, and your team. You knew they knew they weren't going to have Kyrie Irving for a while because of knee surgery and stuff, and Davis went down. But the thing is, they're sitting at 2-7,
and
the Lakers are sitting in first place,
and
Doncic has went to a new level.
Why are we not touching this last name? I'm waiting to hear the name. I'm going to wave it.
Austin Reeves.
Let's talk about him. He has not been looking good. I know he's a rookie.
Cooper, I know Cooper Flag. Yep.
Look,
But the thing, the Nico Harrison put the thing in the sand last year when he traded Luka Doncic.
Can I open a can of worms?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Has anybody ever thought, now that all this FBI stuff is going down, that the trade of Luka Doncic to the Lakers and then the mysterious first round pick
To the
Actually-
Mavs.
Actually, I'm right there with you because guess what?
Wonder how much I wonder what the odds were if we would have bet on that.
Hold on. I got some.
Now you can go to the I'ma Say It podcast and you can listen where I said that smells funny. When it happened, I said it smells funny.
Yeah.
look, you guys know I haven't watched the NBA since '97 because of the name change of the
Bullets,
Washington
right.
Bullet to the Wizards. I couldn't accept it. But when I saw that NBA draft this year and the percentages and the possibilities of them getting the number one draft pick was insane. And when they got it, I was like, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call it what it is.
Well, I'm going to tell you something real quick, Dio. This year, the Mavericks, that happening, it's happened before. Who remembers the name Patrick Ewing?
Yeah.
Yep.
The New York Knicks mysteriously ended up with the first pick in the draft to get Patrick Ewing. It's, when they sit there and do the balls, to do the orders and blah, 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 I don't believe it. I think it's already done.
Yeah,
I think they do that for show, to be totally honest
yeah,
with you.
probably. You said something. I just drew a blank, man. You said something. I was gonna go somewhere with it. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I had a thought. It ran away.
No, you get. That's just like it is. That just makes you think. I've thought that since way back then because it's like, I'm a person that's watched college basketball. I love college basketball since I was a kid. Pro basketball, I like. But when I sit here and see these drafts and the players that get drafted or the teams that get the number one's picks, I'm sitting here just to myself going, that the NBA did not want the Washington Wizards to have the number one pick this year
Yep.
with Cooper Flag.
Oh,
They did not want.
sorry, I remember what it was.
Go for it, Brandon. You got it.
There was a stat that happening, a person had a better chance of hitting the lottery twice or getting struck by lightning 4 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And that's the thing. You tell me, as an NBA, as a business, you have a dumpster fire in the Wizards with the best chance to get the number one pick, and your ratings are going to go down the hill on the draft that year, or the Mavericks get the number one pick after trading Doncic and getting a so-called franchise player again.
The
draft.
people that own the
All right,
Mavericks
Brandon.
have a hand in casinos in Vegas. They are.
You knew where I was going with that, darn it. I
Yep.
was sitting there looking up to confirm.
Yep.
You-
Yeah. Well, the whole deal was
knew where I
the whole
was
deal
going.
was
They
they were supposed to get
own-
casinos down in Dallas, and it got vetoed.
They own
We're doing a sport.
they own the Las Vegas Sands.
We're doing a sports podcast on sports, and we talk about everything. And here's the thing: we talk about more controversial or conspiracy stuff than half the time we talk about sports, and that's because these organizations are creating all this shit.
Yep.
And
Is that
I've said it's like the self checkouts at Walmart. Why am I scanning and bagging my own groceries? I don't work for Walmart. And here you go. When are the fans going to reject the bullshit of what's been put in front of us, quality of play, how we sometimes feel games are rigged? Because there's no way when you look at the matchup, it doesn't make sense. It's like the math ain't mathing.
Well, here's another thing. You just did the Walmart thing. When you go to your self checkout, all right, What is sitting right there by the self checkout? Your candy bars, your chips,
Your
your
soda.
soda, the things that most people are
Your
like,
chips.
you don't think about it when you're shopping. If that's the last thing you see before you start scanning, what are you going to probably grab? You're going to grab one of those things.
Oh, and by the way, guess what's normally across from the self checkout?
What?
If a McDonald's or something that you're going to look at. If I'm not going to buy something here, I'm going to go get something on the way to my car.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is just look at that part of it. You look at the Cowboys are a perfect example. We haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. I haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, but we are the highest franchise when it comes to money coming in because of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones talks, and how many media people are in his face?
You remember that E.F. Hutton commercial back in the day, Corey,
Probably.
I do.
about what was it when he speaks, you listen?
Yeah.
When E.F.
Something
Hutton
like
talks,
that.
people listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing like with Jerry Jones. And, the thing is I guarantee you last year, because Mark Cuban had sold his part of the franchise, still has courtside seats. But I guarantee when they traded Luka Doncic, he sat there
He
and was
was
like,
pissed.
I did not do all this, spend all this money on this franchise, all the remodels and stuff for their, the players and stuff for this idiot to trade him.
All right. So I'm going to bring this team up into it. We're going to talk about an NFL team. When you hear the Cleveland Browns, what do you normally think? Or what do you normally say?
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
Okay. So why not change the publicity of it and go after the most controversial quarterback that came out of the draft, Shedeur Sanders? They got news feeds, they got attention, they got news cycles all over this stuff. The Browns were getting attention, not for sucking, but for taking Shedeur Sanders. Because how many, before the season started, how many lives did you go in on TikTok that had Shedeur Sanders' picture put up and said, let's debate this? And those rooms were on fire with just people back and forth.
Yeah.
Right? So
300, 400 people if you were.
Exactly. So that's the point. It's like they want you to look at this hand here, so you're not watching this hand over here, and you're not catching all the BS that's going under the table. And as the fans, we're getting screwed left and right. We're getting screwed on ticket prices. We're getting screwed on jerseys, hats, the prices of those. Why are they so high? I mean, come on. They're making them for a couple of bucks. Dude, they're all made out of the United States, but yet the sport is home in the United States.
Well, the thing is that the one thing that I've watched, Jerry Jones, that stadium, do you know Jerry Jones makes more on that stadium from like concerts and stuff like that than he actually does Cowboys football games?
All right. So here's another thing they're doing. Here's another thing all these leagues are doing. Look at all the different jersey combos they're coming out with. The Oregon Ducks started doing it with their sponsor, and people would buy the different jersey every year. Now you look, I mean, it's like the minute somebody sees a new helmet or a new jersey, they're like, oh, I got to have that. They're making all these combos, and they're making money left and right off of us fans, and we're not getting the return. We're making an investment in our teams, and we're not getting the return.
Yeah, you want to know who I felt the worst for last year with the Dallas Mavericks? When they traded Luka Doncic, I felt bad for the season ticket holders in Dallas.
Yeah.
Because how bad did they just get screwed with their money?
Yep.
Because the organization or the GM decides, hey, I'm going to make this trade.
Let's take this a different way. What is one of the most recognizable teams in college?
Alabama?
No.
Notre Dame.
I'm thinking a West Coast team.
I mean, UCLA.
Yeah.
All right. How about the Oregon Ducks?
Okay.
All right. The Oregon Ducks basically have that partnership with Phil Knight. How many jersey combinations and helmet combinations do you see in any given season?
Oh, God. I mean, at least
They
8.
started it. They started it.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point I was getting to.
I already
I
mentioned
mean,
them though.
Yeah,
I didn't hear you mention them. Sorry.
yeah. No, that's they started that craziness.
That's where I was going with it because NFL started doing the color rush. They started doing
Yeah.
the rivalry, and they're
The
going to be doing it.
throwbacks.
They're going to be doing it over the next 5 years. Where you got all these different combos. I mean, look, like I said, we're investing into these teams as a fan. You know, it doesn't matter what sport you watch. Like, I hope my son doesn't watch this episode, but I've got him 4 different jerseys on the way of 4 different sports. Well, I got him 2 of Tampa and then 1 Maple
Yeah.
Leaf, 1 Cardinal. But anyways, that's an investment out of my pocket into that organization. And I'm
Yep.
not getting back. I'm not saying we got to win the championship every year, but I want an honest, fair game brought back to all the sports. I want the corrupt refs out of it. I want the corrupt owners out of it. Any of these GMs that are doing
The
backroom
corrupt
deals.
players.
Yeah. I want to see players play for the love of the game instead of love of the money because they're not getting us fans what we're paying for. I
You
mean,
know,
just because you buy a ticket to that game, you're not getting what you're paying for. Especially when they do the resting of the NBA players. And, you know, you guys brought it up. Do they do that in hockey as much? Not as much, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't start doing it.
well, the sad part is you know, baseball. I see that sometimes they rest a player. You know, out of a 3-game series, they might rest him one day. That's okay, but it's not the whole team. But the thing is the NBA. You sit there. You know, they put so much now into the sports betting stuff. You know, they're all into it, and you can't even do it because they don't even come out until the game time and say, "Hey, this player isn't going to be playing." So you've bought your ticket. Maybe you put money on that player to do something. Look at all the money you just lost just
Look,
because load management.
well, look last
What
night.
happened last night,
Yep,
Theo?
Giddy. Giddy was a void on you know what.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, that was the perfect example of what you were saying, Corey. We were on the live, and we were looking at the last second.
Yeah.
We were talking about
So,
other things on the live, how certain companies should be involved in this situation, and all of a sudden I checked this one up, and what was my first reaction? Giddy was out. Giddy was already a boy.
You know, normally on certain sites they would ding you for that, and your whole parlay would be done.
Yeah. Now they don't do
But
that. Now they don't ding you. They they've got protection stuff in there now because the players are
yeah,
getting to that point.
yeah.
I know
And it's
I coach women's football, and I'm really big in the WNBA. I'm starting to get a little bias here. I'm fixing to just start watching women's sports. I'm almost completely done with the men.
you know what, to be totally honest with you, Brandon, what I've watched, because like I said, I love college sports. I watch college softball, I watch college basketball, I watch WNBA. You know, I've sat here and watched a couple of that league that you coach in on TV on Tubi, by the way. And you know, they play it for what we used to play it for, the love, not hey, how much money can I make off of this? You know, we're sitting here. I've stunk it up for the first 3 years of my career. The fourth year is my contract year, and I have a great year. Now I'm going to get paid big time bucks, so I can stink it up some more.
And now we're finding out that these millionaires are screwing the fans by doing personal gambling on their own pitches. I mean,
Yeah,
receiving money for every ball they throw. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't realize they were going to watch the movie Moneyball and literally take it that direction. No,
Exactly.
because every time either one of those pitchers was throwing a ball, it was $7,000, 12
yeah,
grand, whatever. And you know they were betting on themselves.
yeah.
They had
Well,
somebody putting them in for them. Like, the next one's going to be a ball.
you
We'll throw a
know,
ball.
I'm
let's
I'm
not
not
part.
going here to start a can of worms or not, but I'm going here just to make the point. Isn't it funny that after Otani was cured, that you see this Emmanuel Clase and the other pitcher from the Indians go down with like this?
No, because they've been watching this because they're not stupid. They know it. But just like the steroids, they weren't stupid back then either. They knew the
Nope.
players were using it.
Yep.
But
McGuire,
because
Bosa,
yeah,
Bonds.
yeah,
I,
because
I
they knew
you know,
they
I
were
still
using it.
look. I'm a Cardinals fan. We had McGuire on the team, but I still think there should be a big old fat asterisk by their names.
Well, that's just not them. Even before that, pitchers were doing spitballs. They knew it until it became public knowledge. These leagues let it go. They don't want to look. They don't want the black eye on their thing.
Let me ask you a question since you just brought that up. Do you think the umpire checking their hands and their everything when they come off the field? Do you think that's just for show?
No, they're checking because they know
Hold on.
the pitcher.
Hold on.
Well, yes, it's for show. Yes, it's for show to show the fans. But
That's what I'm getting at.
yeah, that part, yes, it's to show the fans, hey, we're checking, which really they're not, because any smart pitcher is not going to have it that visible.
Yep. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
You're gonna some of these pitchers. I'm just sitting there going, I bet you they're juicing the ball.
Well, here's something here. Here's something. Watch a pitcher nowadays. When after they throw a pitch, they'll come back, they'll get that rosin, they'll hit the rosin, and then you watch them before they get onto the thing. They'll lick their fingers.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you lick your fingers before you put the rosin on?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just little things like that I start looking at now.
Yeah.
And now, with Rozier, doing the way he did, the bet against and coming out with a fake injury.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You've taken the credibility of millions of not just fans but the players that play the game the right way, and you've dirtied it.
Well, and you see, you'll notice on most of these sites, they will start crediting you now when a player goes down.
Yeah.
Not always, because if they play a certain amount of innings or quarters now, if they get hurt in the fourth quarter, they're not giving me back. Nope.
Right.
Well, one of the sites.
But a lot of these, like they go down in the first half or they go down in the first quarter. I've even had one in the third quarter go down and they refunded it.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing right here. Let's say Rozier played 3 quarters of basketball, started the fourth quarter of the game, but he knew his limit was 23, and he's sitting at 19. Oh, I have an injury now.
No.
You're not getting that money back from that fourth. You're not getting your money back for if you pick.
No, I'm with you
what
on
I'm
that.
saying is
That's not where I'm going with this. What I'm saying is that started 2 weeks before the FBI came out with Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Oh, I know.
them trying to cover themselves before it got out, and it got out.
Every league's about to get slapped. I mean, every league, because it just wasn't the NBA they're looking at. They've now got them in baseball. But you're probably about to get the new cycle on football.
They'll probably get Goodell during the draft.
I probably wouldn't be surprised if NASCAR all of a sudden doesn't start having problems. And
I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think by the time we get into this, I know we've had issues with college sports in the past.
Yep.
Point shaving and all.
Yep.
But I think it's going to, if you watch that Dabo Sweeney video I sent you, which I know you did, Brandon, he brought the gambling and officiating. Yep. I really believe that we're going to see it all the way down to college.
Well, here's something.
It's already in college. It was in college baseball 2 years ago.
Yeah, here's something.
I know, but I'm talking about more rampant, where it's going to be a bigger episode than the other.
Hey, Rodney, here's something.
Yeah.
Here's something for you. I'm a big WWE fan, right? WWE's scripted, right? You know what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Exactly, it's scripted.
Whoa.
But
Don't
tell me something.
Me Santa Claus isn't real either, motherfucker.
Exactly, but it's scripted. It's scripted.
Oh.
And you know what? It's called sports entertainment for that reason. Guess what?
The NFL is
All
called
the sports, the big sports are turned into sports entertainment.
Yep.
And I'm telling you right now, there's things that happen that I just sit there and be like, wait a minute, I just seen that in the WWF or WWE the other day, almost identical of what's happening here.
Yep.
So
Hey, I wasn't attacking Manu last night about his Eagles, but damn, it's either the left or right tackle on offense every game. They are already moving before that ball
yes,
snaps.
it's the right
Why are
tackle.
they not calling it? Look, I'm not picking on the Eagles because I saw it out a couple other teams over the weekend where there's always a couple of guards that are moving ahead of the snap where I'm like, because they're trying to get to that block. I get it.
The last night in the Eagles game, yes, you are right. That right tackle moved on 90% of the
Jordan Mailata was bad yesterday.
Yeah,
I put him low 80s.
But you could just tell he that right kick of his foot, it was always moving before that play started. That right leg would start moving.
It should be a false start. They should have had at least 13 to 14 false starts last night because of that tackle.
And you got a ref that's right down the sideline, right there, looking straight down on the offense and defensive line. Right there, you have somebody that's his job. From high school football to college football to pro football, and guess what? That's their job to watch that, and you're missing it every time. How? No way.
Hey, two sports.
Then you shouldn't be a
I
ref.
know two sports that I don't think this will go into. I really don't. I do not think this will go into hockey, and I do not think this will go into golf.
No.
Golf would be a hard one.
Huh?
Golf would be hard.
Yeah, golf would be a hard one.
Please argue the golf one with me, Rod.
Golf?
Please. I need my blood pressure up this morning.
All right. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm not saying that it would be, but
I'm still recording.
you've had, what's the word I'm looking for? You've had always these betting in golf. Period. Like the gentleman bets. But ultimately, we don't know to what level. I'm just saying you don't know what level, how you could cheat in golf.
Hang on a second.
That gentleman's bet, though, you're betting on yourself. You don't see somebody betting that they're going to lose. I'm
Rodney,
not betting $100 that I'm not going to hit this par 3 and do it on purpose and hit a 4 on a par 3.
You get where I'm coming from, though.
I do, Rodney, but listen, hold on. These fans know how these golfers hit. They study their favorite golfers. They try to emulate them to improve their own personal golf game. Okay? So when they're at these tournaments, they're getting a front row seat within feet of this golfer. They know if he's jacking around. I'm telling you, it had already been called out. This would already been conversations.
All right, fair point. But I would
that is probably the one sport I would absolutely say that they are not pulling their drives and stuff because their own fans would probably be going, "Hey, what the hell was that?" Because they,
you know what I'm taking sports to look like now. To be totally honest with you, honestly, with all this stuff going on, I feel like I'm back in the highlight of the boxing when they were taking boxers were taking dives.
Yeah.
Yep. And you could equivocate it to a daily soap opera. I mean, you can't write this shit. I mean, they're doing everything. They are doing everything against what the fans truly love and want about that sport.
Go
ahead, Corey.
When I talk about boxing, the perfect example was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Okay, I grew up watching Mike Tyson. I watched Mike Tyson throw punches. I've watched him spar before that fight. When you watch that fight live or you even go back and watch, I can count double digits how many times he held back from throwing. Mike Tyson as a boxer never held back throwing a punch ever.
Yeah.
But yet against Jake Paul, he does.
That was not Mike Tyson. That was not Mike Tyson.
He got paid for that. And that's the point. That's the sad part is a lot of sports are getting to that point. You can't believe a guy getting injured anymore on a basketball court because Wait. Does he have money on himself not to hit this thing?
Yep.
You know?
I mean, look how many passes are thrown in the ground this year in the NFL, where we're like, what was
Yeah.
that?
And you remember, I forget, we were watching the game together, and we're like, so and so was doing great right now. Look at this. It was a Tua game. He was, and he started hitting like 4 and 5 in a row, and I said, man, he's coming into a rhythm. Look at this. Next thing you know, what happened? It was a lawn dart.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you say something, it happens.
Yeah, I don't know. It is looking funny. I'm ready. It's all looking funny.
You know what would be even crazier is if it ends up in the UFL as well, where they go down for stuff. Because I mean, they're barely making it as it is, as a league. And I would, I would just be like, really? It's like the alternative to the NFL is the UFL, and they're doing it too. I mean, come
Do
on.
you watch the
It's-
UFL?
Yeah, I always watch the Battlehawks.
I only got to watch a
That'd be a
couple games of it.
great franchise. That'd be a great expansion franchise to bring in is the Battlehawks.
I only watched a couple of them. The couple games I did watch were the Battlehawks, and they were really good. But they seem to play with more effort than the NFL.
Yeah, because they're playing for less money, and they're wanting to get spotted by the NFL, getting a second look at them in actual game
Yeah.
film. Because some of these guys never even made practice squads. I mean, you have a lot of guys who were decent in college and they just didn't make the team in the NFL. But then when you look at them in the UFL or when it was the XFL and the USFL, competing against each other,
AJ McCarron,
you had some players picked up by some NFL squads. Where they're like, hey man, this guy in game film, because we only saw him in practice or like a combine, they're now saying, hey, we need to get that guy, scoop him up. Let's get him on the team because he'll make a great number 2 or maybe number 3.
And
AJ McCarron's been thriving in the UFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yes, he did.
And he loves
But I
it.
like him in-
He's having fun
I
out there.
honestly liked AJ McCarron at Alabama. I thought he was going to be a lot more than what he turned out to be.
He just never got a shot in Cincinnati. And, what's Cincinnati been the past 20 years?
Right.
Hell, even longer than that. They've been sniffing the playoffs, but the Ravens or Steelers usually took the division every
Right.
year. So
All right, moving on to hockey. Your team plays tonight, Dio. And
we got the Bruins.
I was looking to see if my team plays, and they do not. But Maple Leafs take on the Bruins in Boston. You guys are going down.
I'm gonna go against that. I'm gonna push back. That is a rival. That is a nasty rivalry game. It is. Boston's always owned us in the playoffs. We never could get past Boston, and we've already dropped a game to Boston this year. I think the Maple Leafs take that game tonight in Boston. I just do. I think that they're starting to play with more synergy. Because we did bring in a few new skaters, and I think this is the point of the season where it starts gelling. The Maple Leafs had some decent goaltending of late. So I'm actually going to go with my Maple Leafs tonight. And that's not a homer pick. I just feel that's the way the game's going to go. I believe it's going to go the Maple Leafs. But
I might try to watch that Washington at Carolina game. That should be a good game.
Great. Who you got in this one?
uh,
Who you got in
What?
this one?
we're not skipping the Maple Leafs. Bruins. Come on,
Oh.
what are you doing?
Oh, we're doing the pick. Sorry, I thought. I'm gonna beat the kiss of death for the Boston Bruins.
No.
Appreciate
I'm
you,
going-
bud.
I'm going with Maple Leafs.
Uh,
Now I do have to go ahead, Brandon.
no, I was gonna say, Rod, your brain cells must be social distancing again, or are they jousting?
Now I'm going to tell you something. The Bruins did a fire sale last year. but they've always known what they're doing with their players. Zdeno Chara, he's upper Hall of Fame.
Y'all are favored,
I
but
saw
they're
that
at home.
yesterday. Well, okay, all right, I agree, but I'm telling you that when you watch those series in the playoffs, they always won opposite ice a lot of times. It's weird.
They,
Boston would come into Toronto and win. We go into Boston and win. And look, I know they're at home, and they are doing a hell of a job with these young players because, like I said, last year they sent the Rat down to Florida. Brad Marchand. I mean, they got rid of a lot of their veterans last year because they wanted to bring up the talent, and it's working out for them this year. They're playing with house money right now. Boston's ahead of where I figured they would have been. I was thinking maybe next year they'd kind of be coming back into the play, but they're sitting at 20 points right now, 3 points ahead of us. And, look, but that's a rival game, but I do believe Toronto's going to come in there and take one in Boston tonight.
correct me if I'm wrong. For every win you get in regulation, you get 3 points, correct?
Two.
2?
Two.
All right. Thank you. I thought it was 3 for some reason.
All right, LA. Oh wait, Corey. You said you got Toronto. Kings and Canadians.
Canadians for me.
Man, Montreal is not what I expected this year. They are a lot better than I thought. Kings are a good team. I think they're going to be dancing around the playoffs this year. But up in Montreal, man, if you've never been to a game there, that's a tough place to play, especially when their team is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Canadians in this. I watched the LA Kings the other night, and I did not like what I saw. It was a really bad performance. They're 7-5. Canadians are 10-3. Yeah.
You also have to look at the ties there, Brandon. Okay, or overtime.
4 times.
Look, they've been in some games.
I mean, I'm with you.
Right. Yeah, but
I think the Kings are better than what they should be, but I don't think the Kings are where they need to be.
No, they're not. But look, I mean, they're a good Western Conference team. They are. I've got Canadians though. I have the Canadians tonight.
Yeah, I do too. Y'all, Corey,
Sweep.
Yeah, Canadians.
Stars and Senators.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go with the Senators at home.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm picking them. Ottawa's playing. I'm going to tell you right now. I think this is Canada's best year of having a Stanley Cup return to Canadian soil because all the Canadian teams are playing well.
Except for Calgary.
Well, Calgary, yeah, we'll get to Calgary in a minute. But I've got the Sens at home strictly because, you've got, Brady Tkachuk on that team. He's a brawler. I mean, he's a goon. He's an enforcer, but he can also shoot and score. I think the Senators take this game tonight.
Give me Dallas.
Dangenberg.
We need to come up with a sound effect. The KOD.
Dangenberg. I'm literally taking Dallas, and the reason I'm taking the Stars is because they made a great run last year. They had a lot of returners. They're playing very, very well. They're still really, really fast. They're shooting lights out. The goalie back there is been a monster. Give me the Stars. On the road.
Okay, it's a long season. It's a long season. You got to look at these. You got to look at that. It's a journey, not a race. It's
rock with the Cowboys, rocking with the Stars.
Okay.
No, I grew up watching the Dallas Stars. Being in Oklahoma, Fox Sports Southwest was a thing, and so they always showed the Stars games, and so those were the games that I got to watch. And then whenever they play the Red Wings, I always made sure that I got to see that game.
Hey, speaking of Fox Sports, since you brought it up, they have officially terminated Mark Sanchez's contract.
Mark said, "Oh, I figured they would."
Well,
Yeah.
they always have to do their due diligence to make sure they have all the legal things in place to go ahead and
He's
say,
going to jail if
see
I'm
ya.
not mistaken.
I'm just saying that you know I had an alert come through a minute ago where I'm like, yeah, no kidding. I was waiting for y'all to do that. But next game you got up is the Caps and Hurricanes.
I'm going.
Hurricane.
I'm going with the Capitals just because Rod was going with the Hurricanes.
They beat my Maple Leafs 2 nights ago. They're at home. Ovechkin's already got his record. He hit the 300 the other night. Give me the Hurricanes.
Taking the Hurricanes as well. They're just a better team. I think the Hurricanes are a lot better than what I had anticipated them being. I didn't think they were going to be good at all. And they're actually legit. I think they're going to be true playoff contenders.
Corey's on the island then.
I'm on the island.
Flames and Blues.
Flames at Blue.
This is the the worst game of the night, and I'm going to go with the Flames or the Blues because they're at home.
Oh, that's the only reason I picked the Blues because they're at home. I mean, if they were in Calgary, I'd go with Calgary.
All right, so
it's a
so
toss
Rod's
up.
going to take the Flame, and I'm taking the Blues.
Wait! Make that sweet.
All right. Sharks at Wild. This is actually honestly the toss-up game.
I'm going to go with the Wild at home.
Yep. Some of these games, like I said, whoever's at home, I'm probably going to roll with because they're on the home ice. But, I mean, they're both tied at 17 points. I get it, but I don't know. The Wild play pretty well at home. They're tough.
Yeah,
at home.
at home.
Give me the Sharks going on the road and getting it done.
You on an island, or what are you doing, Rod?
I'm taking the Wild.
Damn it, Corey, we just lost.
I know.
Man, I really like the Sharks in this game. I think the Sharks are a lot better than people give them credit for. I know what their record says.
Yes, they are.
I know what their record says. But they are
They're better than
scrappy.
they have been. They're better than they have been. I mean, what's happened is, they've been doing, look, the Sharks have been doing a fire sale every year, just getting good draft picks and, making some smart trades to fit their system and the coach, right? And you're right. The Sharks are surprisingly better than where I would have had them this year. I think that's the reflection of the youth that they're finally just decided. I think they're finally starting to utilize their system, and they are much improved. So, playoff contenders, I don't know yet. Let me see where they're at All-Star break.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying all that. I just said they're better.
But I mean,
scrappy.
look. You normally see every year the Sharks are usually the worst team in hockey, and it's just been that way for a long time, and it's sad to see it that way.
I bet that's a really tough place to play right now. I mean, I don't. I'm
Where's
not being in San Jose, going to a Sharks game.
Yeah.
If you're an opposing team, I think it would be really hard to go and play there right now because I know they love their hockey down there, but I also know that they hadn't been good for a while, so a lot of fans didn't. But now that they're actually somewhat good, I bet that's a hard place to play.
They came out. I want to say their inaugural season was 91 or 92. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at how long they've been. I mean, they've had that team there 30 plus years now. Never have given the fans really anything to write home about, but they still support them.
Yep.
And they've got one of the best uniforms in hockey.
Oh, they got the coolest logo.
It was an awesome logo when it came out, and it's an awesome logo now. It's aged well.
That is the best logo in hockey. I don't care who says. You can say whatever you want to. That is the coolest logo.
One of the best logos in all of sports.
No.
In y'all's mind, is it the best logo in all of sports?
No.
I'm not saying all that.
No, and we're not going to get sidetracked. Rodney, no rabbit holes today.
Yep.
No Rodney holes.
But it's the best one in hockey.
Hey!
Ducks and Avalanche.
This is going to be a good game. This is the two leading teams in the West. I got
Hey, you
Colorado
know what?
only because they're home.
Do y'all want that to? Y'all want? Well, that's a 9:30 game, so I'll already be on live before then. But that's on TNT, so it shouldn't be a problem watching that game tonight. If I can flip it over there at 9:30. Shoot, yeah, this is gonna be a great game. Give me, again. Give me the home team on this one, the Avalanche.
Man, there is nothing better than going into someone's house and whooping the dog out of them.
Okay.
Give me the Ducks.
I was going to sit here and do the duck call.
That's
Quack,
it.
quack.
Quack, quack,
Give me
quack.
give me the ducks.
Look, I know.
I normally ride with the Anaheim, but I'm looking at the records. Based on record, I'm going to go with them.
Listen, I like the Avalanche. I think the Avalanche is a really good team. But have y'all seen how the Ducks have been flying around? I don't think Colorado's gonna be fast enough. It's gonna be like me trying to race y'all. Y'all just ain't in my lead.
Well, we won't be racing y'all because we'll still be stuck at the
That's
finish
right.
line.
You mean the start line?
Starting line. Same thing,
No, it's not.
Corey.
No, we got to finish the race.
We'll drive. My point. I wasn't going to say my secret.
You better
Corey,
get the
damn it.
Zamboni out, Rod.
We were going to drive across the finish line, go get a bite to eat while Brandon
Was running
was
still?
running.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Darn it! You stole my.
Jetic, no, I do. The Ducks have been so surprising this year, and I have found myself rooting for them, and they keep producing. And I know the Avalanche have 25 points, right? Yeah, 25 to 23. I know the points are really close. I know the points are favored in the Avalanche way, but those guys, the way they are flying around, dude, I love it. That the Ducks are putting on a good brand of hockey right now. Jets and Canucks.
I took the Jets, Jets, Jets.
I'm going to see something before I make my pick.
You know, they've had a few games this year. I've watched the Jets. They're definitely not the same team as last year that won the President's Cup with the best record. I don't know what's going on with them, but maybe it's just an early season thing. But give me the Canucks at home. That's a tough place to play. Vancouver's a tough place to play. But like I said, the Jets, for some reason this year, just don't look like the same team. I think they'll be fortunate if they make the playoffs.
I like the Canucks in this as well. I'm not sure either one of these are a playoff team. I might have not seen the right games. But the games that I've seen from both the Jets and the Canucks, it's been pretty disappointing after seeing where they were last year. Give me the Canucks at home. It's tough. It's a hard place to play. But Jets are going to bring it. I mean, it's going to be a close game. It's probably going to be a 1-0 game.
I'm going with Winnipeg.
By the way, real quick, tell me this wouldn't be a good part to put on here. I just asked my wife. She's getting ready to put her teeth in. I said, we're talking hockey. You want to do it online?
Oh, Lord.
And she said no. She said no.
She said no.
I tried.
They don't fit, and I'm too poor to get my own.
Last game?
Yep, Blue Jackets and Kraken.
I got the Kraken because I got to stay with that Kraken.
Corey, quit smoking the Kraken.
So
No, Rod, we're talking about Kraken, the hockey team, not your Kraken.
I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Blue Jackets for a minute. They, for some reason, they just can't get that team off the ground. They they've had some okay seasons, but they've never had great seasons since they've been in the league. I'm really concerned about where that franchise is going to be over the next, I want to say, 3 years. That could easily be a team that gets relocated and maybe go to somewhere that people will support it. And I don't blame the Ohio fans for not supporting them, because you know how they are about their Browns, their Bengals, their Reds, you know, their Guardians. If you don't put something good on the ice, they don't always show up. It looks like they're having another mid-season again. And, the Kraken, they're playing good hockey right now. And that, from what I've seen when they play at home, it's a lot like the Seahawks games. It's loud as hell there. For some reason, the Seattle fans are just louder than most. Give me the Kraken on that. But, like I said, I'd hate to see the Blue Jackets leave Ohio. But I don't even think Columbus was a good pick for the city even. I don't think it was. They did it for logistic reasons, for the state, kind of center it. But no, give me the Kraken tonight.
I'll take the Kraken. I'll get Kraken with the Kraken.
This is a sweep, and for a lot of the same reasons y'all said. I find myself rooting for the Kraken. I watched them play a really good brand of hockey. I don't think their score reflects what I've seen. I think they're better than what their record says. I think that come mid-season, they're going to start to make a push. After the All-Star break, I think you see them go. I think they're going to make a really deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, Edmonton's been there, the past few years in the finals, and the competition in that West has improved drastically. Like your Ducks, like you keep bringing up the Ducks, the Kraken, the Vegas Knights are still legit.
Yeah,
they're not an easy pushover. The Sharks are playing better. That's what I mean. Like the Western Division, I think is more parallel this year, to where the teams are evenly matched. So I think the West is going to probably, whoever wins the West, I think will win the Cup this year. But I think it's coming out of Canada.
I think the Cup's going to. It very much.
So you think Vancouver will do it?
If it's not Toronto in the East winning it, it's going to be a Western Conference team, and it could possibly be still a Canadian team. But I think the Cup comes back to Canada this year. It's been a long time since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup.
I disagree. My Red Wings are going to do it this year. We're playing with house money.
Well,
Everybody's going to underestimate us.
Well,
Larkin's going to.
y'all are back in the East now, so you're not in the Western Conference anymore.
I know, but Patrick Kane, down to you. Larkin has been playing out of his mind. And my first goalie,
We'll see.
my goodness. Could y'all take any more shots at my goalie? I mean, just keep them coming. It was like 34-12 on shots, and my goalie was just stopping everything. My goalie's bad, dude. He's not always good, but he's bad. He's bad. A bad dude. No, my Red Wings aren't going that far. I wish. That's wishful thinking. All right, real quick. We got just a couple more minutes. There's a couple basketball games that are on tonight. And the first one is the Warriors at Thunder at 7 o'clock. And I've got the Thunder just molly-whopping everybody this year.
Yeah, because you don't have Curry.
Yeah, Curry's out.
I don't think. Yeah. So. Yeah, I got to go with the Thunder on that one tonight.
Give me the Thunder.
Sweet.
I'd have to go with you on that one.
Raptors at Nets.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Raptors.
Right now, the Nets will be lucky to win another game. Grizzlies at Knicks.
Knicks.
I got the
Give
Knicks.
me,
I'm taking the Knicks on that one.
New York's a hard place to play.
give me the Knicks.
And Curry is back tonight.
Is he? Because my fantasy thing
Yes.
says he's still out. Because it just let
Yeah,
me know that I have
it's
him in my roster.
Yeah, saying he's supposed to be back, but
All right. Well,
he's not. I'll tell you this: he's not on any parlays.
he's on my roster
no, he wasn't.
because like I don't have anybody else anyway. So if he plays tonight and scores points, great. Otherwise, I'm expecting a 0. Celtics at Sixers, and this one is probably the game of the night.
Yep,
I'm
I agree.
gonna go Celtics.
That's who I'm taking.
Bird,
Celtics.
cool. I'll take the Sixers at home. Because guess who's back? Back again.
Embiid
PG.
or Paul George.
PG.
Gonna say I thought one of them was coming back.
Actually,
No, too late.
Steph
Can't, too
Curry
late.
is going to win it.
Pacers at Jazz. What, Bird? Go ahead.
Pacers.
The Jazz
I'm-
because they're playing at home.
What were you?
Yeah, man, the Jazz play some ball.
They can.
Jazz play some good ball, and the other night, I watched a lot of their game, and I'm gonna take the Jazz at home.
I'm going to take the Jazz.
Yeah, that's a sweep. The Pacers are 1-9. They're not playing any good basketball right now. TJ McConnell and Halliburton have been out, and they cannot get this figured out. What were you gonna say, Bird, before I made you move on from the Celtics Sixers?
I was just going to say back to the Warrior thing. Yes, Steph is on one of the sites.
Oh, is he? Okay, well,
Yeah.
ESPN,
I was
ESPN
just
needs to update their
confirming
stuff.
that for you.
Because right now, I literally just got a
Right.
notification that I swiped off that said, Curry's out. Curry has been downgraded to out. Yeah, that's what
Oh,
it
really?
said, but that was on ESPN Fantasy. But they said Embiid is questionable. But
Yeah.
anyway, Nuggets at Kings.
Nuggets.
Yeah, I got the Nuggets in that one.
I want those chicken nuggets.
Give me the Kings
I
at
gotta
home.
wait till the live's over.
Give me the Kings
What?
at home.
Wow, you're never on the island by yourself, hardly.
I know, but they're like, if you look at what the Kings have done, I mean, the Timberwolves blew them out. They beat the Warriors, and the last time they played the Nuggets, it was 130 to 124. They were in Denver. You beat the Bucks 135 to 133, and I mean, you lost to the Thunder. They played a really tough schedule, and they played like all these guys really close. You beat the Bucks. You lost to the Nuggets by 6. You beat the Warriors, and then you got blown out by the Timberwolves, who a lot of people were expecting to win the West. Give me the Kings at home.
Okay.
Before
You
we
have
get off here, oh, go ahead, Dio.
No, I said you can have them. I'm taking the. Go ahead.
Before we get off here, though, there is some top 25 matchups in the NCAA basketball also tonight, guys. So there's actually 5 or 6 games that are actually really should be decent. You've got Creighton at Gonzaga, both ranked. You've got Texas Tech at Illinois, both ranked. You've got Florida State undefeated at Florida, who's got a loss. You have Kentucky and Louisville tonight.
If that game's on the Florida State, if I have it, I'll flip between it and hockey.
It is on the SEC network.
Okay, I have that because I really want to also show the because that game's what 7:00.
That game is 6 p.m. Central, so yeah, 7 Eastern.
So what I can do is I can start out with the Florida State game and then flip it over to Avalanche and Ducks.
Yeah, and then there's also Wake Forest at Michigan. Michigan's ranked. Wake Forest isn't, but they're 2-0 so far. So there's some good games on
I'm
there.
going to be real. I think Florida is a fake number 10. And I think that the only game that really is the Kentucky Louisville. I think that is going to be the matchup of the night.
I
I think that's
I
going to be the
agree.
matchup, but I also like the Texas Tech Illinois game and the Creighton Gonzaga because I do like Gonzaga, but that is being played out in
Creighton,
Seattle, so
That Texas
Creighton
Tech Illinois
Gonzaga is
game might
going to
be
be a
good.
good game.
That is probably going to be a good game.
yeah, yeah. There's some good games
Creighton,
on tonight. It's just going to be, like I said, it's starting to get warmed up. The tournaments will be coming up, so
Who you got in the Florida State Florida game?
unfortunately, I'm going to take Florida State with the points because I don't think Florida State beats them, but I don't think they get beat by 17 and a half points either.
I think
So
Florida State's outright win.
that's just me.
I think Florida State's putting on a good.
I'd like to
I
see
think they're
that.
putting on a really good brand of basketball right now.
They've that
Well,
new head coach.
I like
I
the
do
new
like.
coach, and I hope he strategizes well against Florida's um, level of play because look, any win this year they get, I take as a victory. Beyond that, because Leonard Hamilton was there forever. He actually left. He went and coached for the Washington team, then he came back. You know, during the pandemic when they canceled the March Madness, Florida State had one hell of a team that year, and I figured they were probably going to be one of the number 1 seeds at large. I thought they had a good chance of making it deep that year in the tournament, which could possibly been our first national championship in basketball, but it never happened because everything was canceled. So now that we have a returning player, which is kind of what Rod's always picked at me about, maybe that's what we need for football, to bring back a former player as a coach. You know, I like this one a lot better because it's a smaller team, you know, and he
yeah,
was with the Sacramento Kings as one of the assistant coaches. So he's got some pro experience, beyond college. So
I'm
I'm
going to tell
excited
you.
to see what he does. And Matt, that's a great test tonight for the Seminoles because they've only played two small schools, for the first two games, and they won them. But if they beat the Gators tonight, I'm going to take that as a huge win. I'll take it any day we can beat the Gators.
Well, with the Illinois Texas Tech game, I'm going to tell this. I know I live in Illinois. I usually don't root for Illinois teams, but watch the Illinois team tonight. They have a forward from Montego. He averages 18 points and 12 and a half rebounds a game, and I think he could easily be a one and done. He
Montego Bay.
no, whatever it's called over there. Oh, it used to be Bosnia Herzegovina.
Croatia.
Oh,
Yeah,
Montenegro.
yeah, there you go. But he
I was
should be.
thinking Montego, Jamaica. I was going to break out the song.
No, please don't sing.
I like Illinois in that game just because they're at home.
I do too.
Give me Illinois. It's at home,
Yeah,
right?
Illinois
It is at
yeah.
home. It is actually in Champaign, not in Chicago. So, but and like I said, it's starting to ramp up for college basketball. There's some good matchups tonight, but it's actually getting ready to start hitting. So once these like the Maui Classic and all those start hitting up, we know we're in college basketball season.
What about this Kentucky and Louisville?
Even though
I'm
it's
going to take Louisville. And here's why. Pat Kelsey is a hell of a coach. He's a hell of a recruiter. And you know what? He always will. And if you haven't watched the Pat Kelsey coach team, they are worse than Rick Pitino when they're on, as far as how aggressive, how defensive they are. Give me Louisville.
I got to go against you tonight, Rod, because I think Kentucky Pope has really turned that team around from what Calipari had. He's got them as a more of a veteran team, and I think that is going to be at his advantage.
I mean, you got
Give me the cat. Give me the cat.
Yeah, I've got Kentucky going into Louisville as well and meeting Louisville at home. They've got 7 guys that average double-digit points, which means
Yeah.
they've got some depth. in Kentucky. I think this is a need to win for Kentucky, not a must win, but a need to win in order to show that they are true contenders and legit. I think Kentucky's been um, less than Kentucky for these last couple years, and I think they're going to start. I
Yeah.
think this year is going to be a
I'm
real Kentucky
on the
brand.
island by myself.
Well, here's the
but
thing
listen,
too.
Rod,
Pope,
go ahead.
former
Go ahead,
player.
Corey.
Pope, former player at Kentucky. Again, Florida State, former player. You know, some of these colleges they're bringing back when their teams were what their teams should be.
Yep.
And I like that. Kelsey's doing a good job at Louisville, but I just think Pope, they've got 7 guys. It's the way Pope coaches to spread the ball.
Pat Kelsey, you got to look at, all right, and I know we're talking season to season, but you got to look at what Louisville did last year with nothing after coming off a 2-win season the year before. Kelsey has always taken that recruiting to another level, that transfer portal to another level.
He has, but Kentucky brought back most of their team this year. That's why I just went with Kentucky.
And I'm going to go ahead and say this. It doesn't matter anywhere in the state where Kentucky plays. When it's Kentucky basketball, it's always a home game for them. Because, look, Louisville's had some great teams throughout the years, but Kentucky owns that state. And I don't
Louisville
think it matters.
will always be the stepsister.
Yeah.
That's why Louisville needs to win.
Well, anyways, for any of you,
Yeah.
hold on, Rod. Hang on a second. I'm not done. For any of you old enough to remember MySpace, everybody's first friend was Tom. And Rodney is the 30-year later version of Tom. Because is that not almost a replication of what Tom looked like sitting at his computer?
Oh my goodness. I didn't even think about that. That is exactly what Tom used to look like sitting at his computer.
I kept looking at Rodney during this entire episode, and I'm like, he looks like a 30-year later Tom.
Yep.
This is going to be interesting when we go to post this today.
We're not posting this.
Oh, this is definitely going up.
I love it.
Oh, wait. Oh, yes. I sent that picture to my wife. I told her to fix him up.
Hey, Corey's already sent me the one with your tongue wagging around and your eyes rolling.
I mean, it's true. We all have that photo.
Hold on a second. Don't move, Rodney. Sit still. I need to take a picture of this. Don't move, Rodney. Rodney, don't move.
Rodney, don't move.
All right, gotcha, brother.
All
Thanks for
right.
not moving. And you didn't blink in this picture. Good job.
Yes, good job, Rob.
This episode is brought to you by Heaven Sent Hellbent Gear. Go to hshbgear.com. Enter promo code MARRIED, get your 15% off. Buy Dugout mugs. Check those out. There'll be a link below. But they are our new affiliate as well. And stylesapparel.com, where we keep you the latest styles of women's fashion and apparel. Guys, tune in tonight for the seventh pick. Sorry. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.
Peace.